What historical event can accurately be referred to as a bruh moment? Romulus killing Remus for the naming rights of Rome. Archduke Franz Ferdinand survived an assassination attempt, but later that day, his driver took a wrong turn on their way to the hospital to visit wounded citizens from the attack. They drove past another assassin having a snack at an outdoor cafe. Needless to say, he did a better job than the first guy. RIP Europe. Edit. Bruh. Some of the details are incorrect, i.e. they made it to the hospital and then were returning home. Princip wasn't eating a sandwich, etc. The gist remains the same. Also, I am well aware WW1 would have occurred anyways, but this assassination was the spark that lit the tinderbox. When 100 Russian soldiers who barely survived poison gas attack, and were close to dying anyway, charged against 7,000 German soldiers in WW1. The Russians were so abnormal mutilated by the gas that the Germans thought they were attacked by zombies. Spoiler alert, the Russians won. Pompeii. When Vesuvius became active, they had just fixed the earthquake damage on the buildings and were ready to get the plastering teams in. Worst day in the building industry ever. The War of the Bucket. There was a long-standing tension between rival cities, and eventually some thought it would be brilliant to steal a single oak bucket from the center of the city. When the city threatened war unless the bucket was returned, they laughed it off. This caused a war where hundreds died. The victors still have the bucket on display in their city. When the Mongols tried to invade Japan but died in a tornado. After they tried to invade Japan but died in a tornado. Fucking Troy. Accepting a giant wood horse as a gift. And then having your city taken over by soldiers in the horse. I need not say more. When Khosrau I of the Sassanid Empire literally built an exact better version of Antioch just to show off to the Byzantines. That one time that one army split up to flank the enemy army and ended up attacking itself. The execution of Topsy the elephant. In 1903, Topsy the elephant was fed cyanide, and then he electrocuted and simultaneously hung. The whole spectacle was filmed for Edison's campaign against AC. I saw this story on Reddit and can't find it on Google. If anyone knows what I am talking about, that would be awesome. If you have names, links. Anyways, there was a kingdom who recently got a new king who was about 17 years old. Still a teenager. There was another empire they were fighting on another side of this massive rock. There were two ways to get around the rock. Through, there was a ravine, but you would get easily ambushed and slaughtered, or around the rock. The king's military advisor advised him to go around the rock because the enemy surely would be ready with arrows to ambush their army. The naive king ignored him and decided to go through the ravine. It turns out that the enemy thought that the king would go around the rock, so they also went that way too, and they both completely missed each other. Edit. I am pretty sure that it was Thutmose III who was an Egyptian pharaoh in the Battle of Megiddo. The odds won out also explains it in his YOLO swag video. Also changed tactical advisor to the proper word, which is military advisor, but I think most people wanna know who did it and what battle it was in. When Columbus found out he had discovered Native Americans, not Indians, after calling them that for a while. Napoleon I coming back to conquer Europe after he already got defeated. Then he immediately got defeated again. Brutus stabbing Caesar. The German-Soviet non-aggression pact being broken. The complete and total overkill of Grigory Rasputin. The sinking of the Titanic. America during the War of 1812 invading Canada and ending up getting the White House burned down. The Great Depression. Both nukes the U.S. dropped on Japan, but especially Nagasaki. The Filipinos getting their first republic only to get mowed down by America. Edit. This is a bruh moment cause they've been a Spanish colony for 300 years. The Japanese attacking Pearl Harbor. The Germans must be being like bruh. Y2K. Club Penguin going down. This war is the last war of mankind, it will end the other wars. And then WW2 happened. When Pres Bill Clinton got caught lying about shagging his intern. Quote, it depends on what the meaning of is, quote. Germany invading Russia or Japan bombing Pearl Harbor. Hitler completely closing the art university that kicked him out in World War II just because he could. Edit. I am sorry. I read this in a book, I am trying to find it. It is also a common legend that Hitler destroyed the university here in Germany. I don't mean that the building got destroyed. I mean it like this. Hitler closed the academy while the Second World War was ongoing. Hitler published texts that gave the University of Vienna a bad reputation, so that no one would want to study there. I am trying to find some internet sources or the book one read. And if I manage to find, I will edit this again. If not, please feel free to consider this post as BS. Alexander the Great, one of the single most powerful generals of the ancient era who conquered damn near the entire Middle East, being taken out by some random disease. When 3 dudes claimed to be Pope and all got excommunicated. The Emoji Movie. Assassination attempt on Andrew Jackson where assassin tried to shoot Jackson from close quarters. But the powder didn't light. So he grabbed a second gun. And it didn't fire, so Jackson took his cane and started beating the man. The term, getting the ball rolling, came from William Henry Harrison's campaign. After which, he won. Mainly because he was the only candidate who didn't say anything about slavery. And he gave the longest inaugural speech in US history without a coat. In D.C. In the rain. Ended up catching some disease and died like a month into his term, leaving John Tyler as president, who did practically nothing to reduce tensions between the North and South. 3. Sumner Brooks Affair. Does the rape of Nanking count? 300 Australians trapped in a coastal African city held off 1,000s of Italians for months during WW2. Hitler in general. The Native Americans being forced out of their homes. When the Chicxulub impact happened. The bubonic plague was a magnitude 10 bruh moment. The rest of the world. Okay Hitler, we see you've been remilitarizing Germany and taking back confiscated parts of Germany you lost in the Treaty of Versailles. We will look past this as long as you promise not to invade Poland. Hitler. KK. Also Hitler invades Poland. Rest of the world. Bruh. The Boston Tea Party was a huge bruh moment, especially when they started to sweep the decks of the boats after yeeting the tea overboard. Certified bruh moment. When the Scottish people thought to invade England when they were infected by the plague because they were weaker, then taking it back to their own country and giving everyone the plague there. The Australian Emu War. World War I. Literally fought over petty shit and accomplished nothing. Oh, and pissed Germany off enough to start another war 21 years later. When the art teacher declined Hitler for the second time. Thermopylae. According to the Persians. The way Alexander the Great died. He basically partied too hard and dropped that pirate who had a bounty on him. So he put a bounty on the guy who put it on him, making it a real no-you moment. The attempted Bay of Pigs invasion. When U.S. air support was an hour late because they forgot time zones were a thing. And without them, the rebels got battered by Cuban government forces. The destruction of Khwarezmia by Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan forged a peace treaty with the Shah of Khwarezmia After the treaty was signed, the Khan sent a 500-man caravan to officially establish trade ties with the empire. However, the governor of the Khwarezmian city of Otrar had the entire caravan arrested, claiming they were conspiring against the empire. The Khan then sent 3 ambassadors, 1 Muslim and 2 Mongols, to the Shah negotiate the release of the caravan. The Shah had the Mongol ambassadors shaved bald and the Muslim ambassador beheaded before sending them back to the Khan. This angered the Khan, who considered ambassadors to be sacred and inviolable. Quote, so he led the Mongols over the Tian Shan mountains, and in less than 2 years the entire Khwarezmian civilization was completely wiped out. As each city in the empire was captured, the defenders were executed. Women and children given to Mongol soldiers as slaves. Artisans captured and sent back to Mongolia as servants. And the cities sacked. When the city where the Shah had been born surrendered, the Mongols broke the dams on the nearby rivers, causing a flood that literally wiped the city off the map. TL. Dr. Never break a peace treaty with Genghis Khan. When Otto von Bismarck predicted World War I, almost to the day, the U.S. losing the Vietnam War, fortunate son intensifies the Maginot Line, impenetrable to nearly all armies. The Third Reich literally just goes around it. President Garfield's death. He was shot in an assassination attempt. The bullet didn't hit anything important and he would have lived if not for the infection he got from all the dirty fingers trying to dig the bullet out. I guess soap didn't exist back then. When What's-His-Face returned to Roanoke and found absolutely nothing but a word carved into a tree. Thomas Fitzpatrick drunkenly stealing a plane on a bet. 2012 The end of the world. Didn't happen. I am still alive. Brew. What happened in Tiananmen Square? Quote, Chinese government. Nothing. When Teddy Roosevelt was shot before he was supposed to give a speech, the bullet was slowed down by the folded-up 50-page speech, so it did not kill him this year. The bullet was inside him. He was bleeding, but he still went on and had the speech, which was 84 minutes long. He started it off with, "It takes more than that to kill a bull moose," and showed the crowd a speech with a hole in it. That's a pretty moment, and humiliating to your would-be assassin. Alright, that's about it for this video. Be sure to like the video. What did you think? Leave a comment. If you want to see more, subscribe to the channel. Be sure you never miss an upload by pressing the bell icon. And as always, thanks for watching.